Still reporting there by Emmanuel Bagudu. Bandits turn peace partners or peace under pressure? Big question. What's clear is that the stakes couldn't be higher for the people of Birnin, Gwari and Chikun, and indeed for the future of conflict resolution in Nigeria's troubled regions. Our thanks to Emmanuel for his courageous, and I do mean that courageous reporting, and to Luka Binniyat for his insight. Now, we're watching Breakfast Extra. Let's talk to Emmanuel Bagudu, who just brought us that report. Emmanuel, good morning. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. As always, you're always ever ready when it's time to be on our big report. Emmanuel, I've got so many questions. And one of my first questions is, did you feel any type of way communicating with these individuals? I don't know what to call them, whether... I don't know if to still maintain calling them as bandits, because I could hear some of the things that he was saying, and even if they sounded jocular or funny, it still sounded threatening to me, especially when he said to you that you look like food to me. So considering that and your personal experience and interaction with these former bandits, what do you think the general view is of the people of Birnin, Gwari and also Chikun when they live amongst these people who threatened and killed amongst them?
Wow, this is actually, I will confess, it was a very, even though we call it hashtag careless reporting, but it was a very terrific experience. These are terrains where thousands of people have been killed, thousands of people displaced, and you find yourself in that kind of environment. It calls for a lot of courage. So the general view there is that everybody is looking forward to seeing that the promises being made to these bandits, these terrorists, is being kept, so that people will be allowed to enjoy their livelihood. It's an agrarian society where people farm. It's a very vast land spanning up to hundreds of thousands of kilometers. Very huge forests, arable land. We're talking about a community where an average woman produces 10,000 bags of maize every year. But because of terrorism, she's not able to do that. And this peace pact means a lot to the economy of the state, a lot to the economy of Nigeria. And then these terrorists who are, that you see the body language of Jambros. If you listen to him very well, you understand very well. The gentleman is just trying to say that that peace pact is actually dependent on God. That if God wishes that peace will continue, it's at the purview of God. That's why we can't say. But the body language there just shows that if government did not, keep up to their promises, these guys are going back to, picking up their arms. So I think it's something that the government must take very serious, very serious. Yeah.
Emmanuel, for the sake of our viewers, I just need you to just reel out the details of this peace pact between the Kaduna State Government and this terrorist.
Former terrorist.
Forgive okay, yeah. Number one, when I got that, number one, there was a grazing reserve that was given, about 1,000 hectares a month, even though the details were very discreet. The Kaduna State Government, Mala Ubasani, made it clear that the terms and conditions for this peace pact were very discreet. But we went undercover and found out that there's a grazing reserve that was reserved for the Fulanis. On the Birnin Gwari, of course, Lagos Expressway, Kaduna Lagos Expressway, on that Birnin Gwari axis, about 1,000 hectares of land. So that was how we got it. We also told that whoever is used to police officers were invited, soldiers were invited to make sure that anytime a Fulani man is being harassed, anytime a Fulani man is being harassed by community members, they should make sure that that Fulani man gets justice. And then of course Fulani men were actually given that's what we call lavish, and that's cattle routes. They are given particular cattle routes because the land is very vast, it's big for everybody to enjoy. So they're given new cattle routes were created for these guys to pass through and then graze. And then of course the grazing reserve massively reserved for them. So that is what we got based on the peace pact. Then on the side of the government says it's going to rehabilitate, the government says it's going to grant amnesty. That's why the controversy is amnesty. You are forgiving somebody who has killed and maimed and have, frustrated people. Let me even give an example. At the palace of the Emir of Birnin, that happened that one of the authorities were telling us. A man, a Fulani bandit militia came to a man's house, spearheaded the kidnap of his two wives, allegedly. They were raped and forced the man to pay 9 million naira in that same community. The man paid 9 million naira. So on the day of the peace pact, the man came to the Emir's palace in Birnin and met the man and said, Oga, I was the one that actually kidnapped your 2 wives. And allegedly I raped them. Are you going to forgive me? It was over. It was in public. So the man was like confused. He busted into tears. He was asking for forgiveness. So the issue of amnesty from the side of the government is what is still a controversy right now. They have done a lot of evil things. You've seen 3 communities. They are not yet back. Community that has, and Birnin has a very large population. That local government was established in 1976.
So Emmanuel, that story that you have just...
Issue of amnesty is an issue.
So that story that you have just told kind of like encapsulated everything that I'm asking here in my first question regarding these conditions. It would seem that the government giving vast amounts of land to the herders, giving them long stretches, and also amnesty seems to placate them. But what about the people who they've suffered under the threat of these former terrorists or bandits? What has the government done for the people? There seems to be very little or very limited effort for the people of these communities who have suffered deaths, maiming, property abuse. What are they getting in this arrangement? Yes, that's where we have to be very objective. The truth of the matter is that when you look at it, the government has not done anything for the people. Now, let me even start from Mando. That particular line, that particular road starts from Mando up to Niger State. And then, of course, you want to go to South, you go to Lagos. Now we have the Federal College of Mechanized Agriculture, where bandits kidnap over 100 students. We have Government College Kuriga. Remember, News Central reported that, while young secondary school boys and boys were kidnapped. Then we also have, even a major was kidnapped at NDA. The NDA permanent site, that Nigerian Defense Academy, is on that road too. These guys kidnap a major, force him to pay ransom, a military man. And then all the communities on that particular axis were displaced. So it's a monumental loss. People suffered psychological, some people died. We didn't see any kind of psychosocial support given to communities. The only thing the government is saying that they're giving to the communities is that they're giving them security to go to their farms, to go back to their livelihood. That's the only thing the government claims is a benefit. But the truth of the matter is that there's nothing so tangible that the government has done to the people who are affected. The people that are enjoying these peace pacts are the people that actually initially carry guns. They're the ones enjoying this peace pact. You saw them, they are coming to the market and they are interacting with the people you have harassed. And they're laughing and all that. I mean, it's really psychological. So there has to be some kind of programs. Okay. Reconciliation programs, rehabilitation programs, like psychosocial support that we support these people to make them forget this. You're very right, Emmanuel. And they embrace these Fulani guys, yeah. You're very right, Emmanuel. Now that these things have been put in place, partially, what has been put in place to monitor these peace deals? Are there any mechanisms or people or offices or parastatals that have been put as custodians of this peace? Or are we just leaving it in the hands of these former bandits and the people who were oppressed, who they oppressed specifically? Yes, the leader of this peace deal, actually, we were told, the person that is actually at the top of this peace deal is the National Security Advisor, NSA, Bagudu, together with the governor of the state. Then we have the headquarters of the Nigerian Army Division 1 headquarters, the GOC. The Division 1 headquarters is in Kaduna. So the NSA, the governor of the state, and the GOC Division 1. Now the GOC, you're talking about sustainability of this peace pact. Now we have been told that that the GOC Division 1 has made it a point of duty to visit those communities at least once in a week to track the progress being made by this peace deal. To track the progress because these guys are likely to go back because the temptation of somebody that used to receiving hundreds of millions from ransom, asking to just depend on selling chickens to just get 10,000 naira, 5K, 20,000 and all that. It's very difficult. So the GOC Division 1 made a point of duty to visit these communities every week. In fact, when we were on our way out of that community, we personally saw the convoy of the GOC coming into that community. On our way, we spent 2 days in Gwari,
just trying to get, we have to wait for this market day, just try to, just to see this bandit face to face. There are a lot of words that they say we cannot put on camera because it's really, really devastating. Yeah. But we will hope to produce another part two of that story where you see a lot of things that we have really had time to show. Yeah. So sustainability, the GOC every week he visits that particular community. And then of course the commissioner of police, that one is just like a normal routine for him. So the NSA and the governor and then the GOC are the ones who are going to hold accountable if this thing is not sustained. Yeah, thank you.
And I mean, as we're talking about sustainability, like you said, you visited this towns, both towns, and you were there 2 days. And so, aside from sustainability, what's a long-lasting solution? Just from your own personal observation, right? Because whether it's state government or federal government, peace deals like this have always been in existence. But clearly, from looking at the bandit leader, that's not a repentant terrorist or armed bandit. That is a person who is opportunistic and a person who is out to exploit and will do anything at any cost to get to what he wants, right? And you rightfully said that they can't just come from collecting 100 million or 100 millions or thousands a month or a week to go into just getting scraps. It's not going to work. So what can be a lasting solution, not just for the government, the state government, but at a federal level?
Well, I interviewed some bandits off camera who prefer to speak off camera. I was trying to compare how much they make while they were kidnappers and how much they are making now while they are just selling livestock. The statistics are very, very different. One of them told me in a month, he makes at least 10 million. 10 million. I asked him, how many people did you kidnap to make 10 million? He said he cannot remember. He cannot even remember. He can kidnap up to 100. But I said, only 10 million, yes. He said, yes. So it simply means that there are people that are sponsoring them. And I looked and I asked him the kind of guns they use. Where did they get these guns from? He said, they're not going to tell me. But when you look at these guns, this firepower they use is either synonymous to that of the military or is even bigger than that. Where did they get that? So they're asking of a lasting solution. Now, the lasting solution, if the NSA, the governor, the GOC, the commissioner of police want to be sincere to us in this peace pact, they must get us the sponsors. The sponsors must be arrested because there are sponsors out there. Because a man will kidnap up to 100 people and a man, he ends up getting just 10 million and he receives a ransom of over 200 million in all. And then so the money is going somewhere. So we are not interested in following where ransom money is going to, but we know that the money is going somewhere. Where is the money going to? Where is the money going to? If you look at that video very well, you notice that banks, we don't want to advertise banks, but we have seen 4 banks that were vandalized. So there is no bank in Gwari. So people are keeping their monies in their houses. If you are coming to the market, we're talking about a market that has been existing as far as 1976. A local government that has existed as far as 1976. It's a huge local government with huge commercial activities. A very big market. People come from different parts of the country to buy grains. Grains are actually cheaper. A bag of grains currently in Birnin costs just 40,000 naira. A huge bag of grain, just 40,000 naira. So you can imagine people coming from Abuja, come and get those things. They are very cheap. So you don't have banks. You cannot transfer money into the bank because it's strategic. So all the banks are destroyed. So the banks have to run away and go into the city center or anywhere safer. So sustainability, that's a solution. There are sponsors. These sponsors must be tracked. And we are interested in knowing who these sponsors are. Because they mobilize these people. Every animal doesn't even know how to handle an AK-47. He doesn't even know about that. So the sponsors have to be tracked. If the government is there, they must tell us who the sponsors are. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Emmanuel Bagudu. We appreciate you for coming on. Emmanuel Bagudu, our correspondent, just giving us a bit of insight, following bandit leaders in Birnin, Gwari, in Kaduna State, who saying that they're warning against parties reneging on a peace deal with the state government. Emmanuel, once again, many thanks. We appreciate you for coming on.